Welcome to Agentic-Nets, the Agentic Workflow operating system. In this tour, we will walk through the whole product step by step. We start at the dashboard, log into the Visual Studio, explore a complete multi-agent software team called Safe Teams, and finish in the read-only monitoring view. Everything you will see runs locally from one Docker Compose file. This is the dashboard, the front door of Agentic-Nets. The core idea in one sentence. Chat agents are great for exploration, but Agentic-Nets is what you use when exploration becomes production work. The left panel lists the 9 production gaps the platform closes. Invisible state becomes typed tokens in queryable places. Vanishing memory becomes structured state that agents read and write. Weak observability becomes event-sourced history you can replay. There's a real permission model, a vault for secrets, a safe execution boundary, provenance for every result, reusable nets, and a reflexive model where agents can build nets inside the same runtime they run in. The documentation hub is open to everyone, no login required. It covers installation with Docker Compose, the core concepts of places, tokens, transitions, and inscriptions, the runtime APIs, including RQL and the pull polling executor, and production deployment with TLS and observability. If you're new, the install guide and the universal assistant are the recommended starting points. Access to the editor is governed. You log in with an admin secret that the gateway generates on first startup, where you check the read-only box and use a separate read-only secret. Read-only access is enforced by the gateway itself, not just hidden in the interface. A read-only session can watch everything but cannot change anything. This distinction matters later when we open the monitoring view. Welcome to the studio. The layout has 3 zones. On the left, the workspace list shows every open net grouped by session, each with a live mini-map preview. In the center, editor tiles show the actual Petri nets. On the right, the sidebar hosts the agents, properties, session, and many more panels. We're looking at the Safe Teams model, a complete software team built as 9 cooperating nets, with a product manager, an architect, a developer, QA, DevOps, a Scrum Master, and a release train engineer, each running as its own net. The Workspace Graph zooms out to the whole model. Every card is one net, showing its name, its session, and its size in places and transitions. Edges between cards are shared places, the actual coupling between nets. This is how the Safe Teams organization hands work across roles. The developer net and the product manager net communicate through a shared place, visible here as a connection. 15 nets, 1 picture, and you could double-click any card to open that net in an editor tile. Here is one net up close, QA, the commit or fail gate. Orange circles are places, the persistent containers where tokens live. Blue rectangles are transitions, the units of work. Work arrives from the developer net in QA inbox, moves through staging into QA validate, and then routes 3 ways. QA pass hands off to DevOps. QA fail sends rework back to the developer, and QA error captures anything unexpected. The topology is the process. There is no hidden code path that can bypass this gate, which is exactly the safety property you want from a quality gate. Every editor tile has the same header controls. The 2 most important are token sync, which pulls live token counts from the backend every few seconds, and net sync, which saves structural edits and pulls remote changes. Next to them sit live commentary, which narrates events in plain language, and the net actions menu shown open here. Fit the view, export the net as PNML or PNG, export a full PDF report, or save a net back to the model. Nets are portable artifacts. You can export one here and import it into another deployment. The Agents tab is where you talk to the platform. The Universal Assistant answers questions, builds nets, fires transitions, and coordinates other personas. Below the chat, the Element Explorer lists every place and transition of the focused net as cards, with live token counts. Suggested prompts get you started. Ask what Agentic-Net OS is, ask it to build your first net, or ask which persona should handle your current task. The persona menu shows the built-in specialists. The Universal Assistant answers, acts, and coordinates. Genesis builds you a custom specialist. The Workflow Builder designs nets. The Net Operator diagnoses and fixes running nets. The Session Chronicle records and reports. The Domain Expert explains the currently focused domain. Every persona carries a capability string, like our WXHLUDCT, which gates exactly which tools it may call. Permissions are enforced at dispatch time, not written into a prompt. Selecting any element opens the Properties panel. For the QA Validate transition, you see its label, its deployment status, deployed in this case, its running state, and its live success and failure counters. From here, you deploy a transition to an executor, start and stop its polling, or fire it once for a test run. This is the operations view of a single unit of work, with the full lifecycle visible: undeployed, deployed, starting, running, stopped. The Session panel manages models and sessions. A model is an isolated event-source database of nets, tokens, and history. Sessions group the nets of one project or one team inside a model. Here you pick the backend endpoints, check service health, create models and sessions, or quick create both with one click. Everything the studio shows is scoped to the model and session you select here. And this is the monitoring view, logged in with a read-only secret. It opens every net of the chosen session automatically and keeps token counts fresh. Notice what is missing: no create button, no delete, no editing. The gateway rejects every write from this session. This is how you give stakeholders, operators on call, or an auditor a live window into the system without handing them the keys. That is the tour. Places hold type tokens, transitions do the work, agents live inside the net with scope permissions, and everything is observable and replayable. The Safe Teams model you saw is not a demo mockup. It is a running multi-agent team built entirely out of nets. To try it yourself, clone the public repository, copy one environment file, and run Docker Compose up. The documentation and the Universal Assistant will take it from there. Thanks for watching.